it can survive in this state for months. Would you like to hold one?
Absolutely. Wow. Look at that, my very own little bundle of fur. I think it's the first time I've handled a hibernating animal.
When these squirrels go into hibernation, it's an amazing process. Their heart rates drop from 300 beats per minute to 3 or 4. Their body temperature drops from about 98 degrees to about 40. They only take a few breaths a minute and use barely 2% of the amount of oxygen they need when they're awake.
Now, you might think that all of those drastic changes would be enough to kill off these little guys. But despite it all, they emerge from their long winter slumbers completely fine. There's no damage to any of their organs, there's no damage to their brains. It's really incredible.
Okay, it's time to put him back to bed now.
Okay, make sure you tuck him in good.
Hibernation is deeply mysterious.
So, Ann, what do you have going on here?
In his lab, Matt Andrews studies its impact on genes. He's discovered several genes that get turned on in some cells only during hibernation. He hasn't completely solved the mystery, but one thing is clear. Somehow those genes seem to reduce the hibernating squirrel's need for oxygen. Andrew's ultimate goal is to figure out how we could do the same for people.
If you can understand the molecules that are expressed when an animal hibernates, you can possibly develop a therapy that can mimic the hibernation experience so that a person can survive a traumatic injury, a heart attack, a stroke, those sorts of things.
Pulse. Okay, begin CPR.
Heart attack victims usually die from a lack of oxygen.
Keep track of that and let me know.
But if we could reduce the body's need for oxygen, even temporarily, who knows how many lives could be saved? While the squirrels do it with their genes, those drowning and avalanche victims who come back from the dead somehow appear to survive without oxygen because of the cold.
130 was the lowest blood pressure.
Now, at a handful of hospitals around the country, emergency room doctors are attempting to replicate those miraculous recoveries. Todd Vandebush is living proof it can work. Todd was just 39 years old when one day he collapsed in the shower with a sudden cardiac arrest.
All of a sudden, Todd fell over, and then he stopped breathing.
When the paramedics arrived, Todd was technically dead. Luckily, he was brought to this ER in Virginia, where doctors are trying out a new treatment.
It sounds like EMS got a pulse back in about 20 minutes. Stand by.
While one team worked frantically on Todd's heart, another flooded his bloodstream with a solution of icy fluids and drugs.
By cooling as quickly as possible, we're trying to lower the body's metabolism. We're trying to lower the rate at which the body consumes and burns up oxygen.
You're going to have to wait till we get these tubes all set up. We're hurrying as fast as we can.
As the cold fluid flooded his veins, Todd's body temperature dropped from 98 degrees to about 92. His heart rate slowed, and all the cells in his body used a fraction of their normal oxygen. Much like the hibernating squirrels, Todd's body was carefully put into a state of suspended animation.
We're trying to stretch time to give the body a chance to recover from the cardiac arrest.
24 hours later, Todd was slowly warmed up and brought back to life. Now, 2 years later, he's in good health and enjoying life with a new baby.
We're seeing that some of the patients that years ago we thought could never survive are now waking up and going back to a fully functional existence.
This cooling therapy is still relatively new, but in the few places it's been tested, it's substantially increased survival rates for some kinds of heart attacks. And Todd has had one of the best recoveries so far.
I've gone through it, and look how well my outcome has been. It's truly a miracle.
And now for some final thoughts on living forever. The urge to not want to die is as natural as life itself. But you should always be careful what you wish for. One day it might just come true. If starting now, everyone in the world lived forever, then Earth's current population of 7 billion, which would, at its current rate of growth, double in 60 years, would instead double in only 35. Take this forward 6 centuries or so, and you have so many people on Earth that everybody will have to stand up straight just to fit on all the world's land area. So that leaves interplanetary colonization as the only obvious next step to accommodate such vanities. But not all planets are Earth-like. Actually, none of the known planets, inside or outside our solar system, are Earth-like. Which means, if biomechanical genetic engineering is what grants you immortality, then why not alter or enhance our organs in ways that allow us to thrive under the exotic conditions of alien planets? And that could be only decades away. There's just one catch. You need a space program capable of leaving Earth entirely, rather than just driving around the block in Earth orbit. Until then, our bodies may out-advance our access to space, making Earth a very crowded place to come. And that is the cosmic perspective. And now we'd like to hear your perspective on this episode of Nova Science Now. Log on to our website and tell us what you think. You can watch any of these stories again, download additional audio and video, explore interactives, hear from experts, and watch revealing profiles of our web-only series, The Secret Life of Scientists and Engineers. Find it all at pbs.org. That's our show. We'll see you next time. See a hidden side of science on NOVA's web-exclusive series, The Secret Life of Scientists and Engineers. Think you know scientists? Think again. NOVA's The Secret Life of Scientists and Engineers.
This Nova Science Now program is available on DVD at shoppbs.org or call 1-800-PLAY-PBS.